Well, let's move on to multiplication of integers. This should be fun, actually. We're still dealing with 8.2b. That is using appropriate operation to solve problems involving rational numbers in problem situation. And we will also use some recurring math, 8.14a, where we will identify and apply mathematics to everyday experiences with other discipline. This is actually categories 1 and 6 on Texas Star. Well, multiplication of integers. What have we done before? We have looked at addition and subtraction of integers. So now let's walk through how or even why we multiply integers. Well, for the most part, we can find positions and so to speak. Let me give you a prime example. Well, before we do the example, let's talk about some key terms that we need to know. The first term is integers, whole numbers and their opposite, or positive and negative numbers plus 0. Multiplicative identity and products. These are things that we need to know in order to be really successful in this unit. But anyway, let's go ahead and just jump right in and to give you an example why we need them. So a diver, so you know what a diver is. He's somewhere in the Pacific. I like the Pacific compared to the Atlantic, but he's somewhere in this ocean and he's diving downward. He's diving downward, and he's doing so to explore a coral reef. Now, the diver's depth is changing by 2 feet per second. He started at sea level. Okay, remember the sea level would be 0 on the number line, and we said that these number lines are, maybe we don't know that these number lines can either go left or right, but these number lines can also go up and down. So he started at sea level, so we want to know what is the diver's position relative to sea level after 10 seconds, and then again after 30 seconds. So some things we need to know before we even attempt to work this problem is when you multiply integers and they have the same sign, the product of two integers with the same sign is always positive. An example would be 4 times 2, which will give you a product of 8. Now, if they have different signs, then the product will be negative, such as 4 times a negative 2, which equal 8. But what I want to do right here is I want to go back up here right quick and address this same sign issue. I gave you 1, and the 1 is literally a positive number. So, okay, what about a negative? So what if we had a negative 4 times a negative 2? Same sign, negative 4, same sign, negative 2. When you multiply, you will still get a positive 8. So you must keep that in mind, that whether you have both signs are positive or both signs are negative, you will still get a positive number. Okay, so multiplication really and division is the same, but right now I want you to understand that when you multiply in integers, any type of integer, you make sure you understand if they have the same sign, the product will always be positive. A negative 12 times a negative 1 is going to always be a positive 12. Let's see, 20 times 4 is going to always be a positive. It really don't matter. Then let's take one more. Let's take 16, a negative 16 times a negative 2 will always give you a positive. Okay, which here would be 32. So regardless of how big or how small the numbers, you're looking at multiplication, but you're more so looking at these particular signs. And that tells us that if we are dealing with the sign and the signs are the same, then your product will be positive. And in regards that if we're dealing also with negatives, if we're dealing with negatives, then we know that if we have a negative 12 times a positive 1, our product is a negative 12. It'll always be negative. Or if we take a negative 20 times a positive 4, we will still get 80, but it will be, a negative 80. And in same regards, if we took a negative 16 times a positive 2, we will always get a negative, and of course 16 times 2 is 32. It does not matter which one of our factors are positive or which one are negative. We're just looking for if their signs are different. If the signs are different, then our product will be negative, and if the signs are the same, our product will be positive. Okay, that's about all I want to do for this introductory. We will come back and probably in just a little bit and take a look at how will we work this particular diving problem that we've talked about here. All right, we will see you soon.